Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the Spirit of Truth. And the Spirit of Truth comes to us to expand our horizons. Every day, it's an opportunity to learn the new in so many aspects. And on the journey of life, as Emmanuel titled this very message that we rephrased with one of the main statements here, thought is power. He's going to remind us of a major thing to learn on the journey of life. He's inspired in chapter 9, Blessed are the meek and peace-loving, in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Specifically, item 4, when Kardec makes the comment, by these maxims, Jesus makes meekness, moderation, docility, sweetness, affability, and patience a law. Consequently, he condemns violence, anger, and even any discourteous expression regarding another person. Let us evaluate this. Okay, since we are studying not only to know, but to feel the scripture, let us then together go here to one exercise together, shall we? For those who are listening to us, we have our Zoom whiteboard open, and here we have a list of what is a law. Law, divine law. We are writing divine law. What is it? To be meek. And just out of synonym, to be mild. To be, he says here, Kardec, to be moderated, tempered, to be sweet, to be kind, to be affable, to be patient. This is the law. Mama mia, when I read this, I'm like, oh man, I'm so far from it, right? We feel it because we're not trained to do that. We're trained to go and get it and be aggressive and be number one and compete. There's nothing moderated in that. Nothing mild, nothing kind, nothing patient. We can be determined and kind, but aggressive and kind doesn't exist. Let's look back. If we just knew it, if when we are children, we got to know of this loss. One day, let us dream together. One day, you and I on earth will probably see the sprouting of schools with emotional education, with virtue-centered education. What a dream. The other day, I saw a teacher so lovingly telling her students about how calling names is a bad thing. What a lesson. We wish every teacher would stop a math class for 10 minutes and spend time talking about social emotional skills, but not only talking about expanding her kindness, because it's not about, you have to be kind. And when we say this, we're not being kind, right? You can't scream. And then we scream, we shout. So we're talking about a teacher who walks the talk and shares what she does as guidance. This will be happening on earth sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later. But the question is, where does it begin? In our homes. But inside of our homes, there is our home, our mind, what we have been cultivating. Think about your mental field as a garden. What are we cultivating there? Because it's going to show. As we cultivate, it's going to show. And today, Emmanuel, knowing that what we cultivate will come out, he says to us in this message today, the following: on the journey of life, you avoid buying spoiled fruit to defend your health. You sweep your household waste to purify the environment. You wash the dirty clothes, ensuring cleanliness. You use the precise medicine to shoo away disease. But also, get rid of the words that descend from information to slander in order to preserve your balance. On the journey of life, you extinguish fire. You manage the electric force. You isolate poison. You manage an explosion. Equally, control your words that are likely to convert energy into cruelty so you can safeguard your own safety. The depressing word generates addiction. The frantic verb creates madness, and the earthly existence can be compared to the laborious travel. The body is the vessel, thought is power, and our tongue is the rudder. So he's telling us that in the journey, on the journey of life, we need to prevent. The first part of this is about prevention. He says, prevent problems by not talking ill of people. So the first thing he says is prevention. He's saying, preserve your balance by not incurring into ill speaking. Think about it. Take a bottle of water, drink it. Feel the water going through your throat, your tummy, your digestive system. It's possible to perceive it, the sensation. Now think about the movement, the reverse. When we speak, feel the warmth. It's all about the vital energy, ectoplasm that comes with our words. If we could paint the air we expel, we would see that we'll be totally enveloped by it. It spreads out. It's impossible to speak and not to be surrounded by what we are emitting. So that's why our inner harmony needs good choice of words. Some people say bad words. They really curse, call people's names, and they say, I'm sorry. But it's not enough. We need to educate ourselves. It's not about doing because nobody's saying anything or doing anything. It's about what are we creating with it. So here we have two choices. When we think, feel, speak, and do something, we're connecting with either of two currents, the destructive current or the constructive mental currents. There's no neutral position. So when we say a bad word and we say, I'm sorry, still I connected with the bad one. Even if I said I'm sorry, because if I don't correct it, I'll still be logged into the account of the destructive mental currents. So to preserve our balance, we need to avoid. And you may be asking, but how can I avoid saying something? We'll see in a minute. Because he says, Avoid using words that will turn into something destructive. And then he says, when we don't know how to use wisely the way we speak, we create addictions, we create mental illnesses. Since Emmanuel is saying this, let's go to the book he wrote through Chico Xavier, another one, 2,000 years ago. True account, when he was a Roman senator at Jesus' time. And the wife of his uncle, Fulvia, was a very sick person. She had addictions and habits that were not healthy at all. And she easily created stories about people, slandering them, either because she purposefully wanted to damage something in someone, or because she misinterpreted it and created slanders. Emmanuel knows the power of slander in his life because Fulvia, supposedly he's the wife of his uncle, and yet she created big slander about Publio Lentulus' wife, Livia, saying that she was cheating on him with Pontius Pilate, which was totally not true. She was jealous and created slander out of jealousy. So Emmanuel knows how it hurts people. Slander can be truly damaging, but not only to people who are victims of slander, mainly to the person who creates the gossip, the slander, etc. They become mentally ill. And look at Fulvia's life, and the end of her life is dramatic. Dramatic. She becomes mentally ill, not only physically, but mentally ill. Totally unbalanced. So let us administer our free time wisely, measuring our words as much as we can so we do not incur in slandering anybody. And he says, the underlying mechanism is in our minds. Thought is power. If we have a generator, which is thought, creating stories and slanders easily, our mouth is going to bring it out. You know, when people say, I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But it's inside of us. So we really need to pay attention to who we are. Today we have a lesson in self-discovery. How have we been using our thought power and our direction through speaking? Because when we speak, there's magnetism coming out. So we can associate with intention the loving kindness that is law, patience, affability, mildness, moderation, not screaming, not creating stories about anything or anyone. There are people who are good at labeling. But you are this, you are that. Ouch, it hurts. We can't be cruel, he's saying. So today, you and I are being invited, number one, to revisit where we are in terms of the use of our words. But most important is to create a log about where we are in terms of our thoughts and feelings. If we're constantly judging, labeling, if we're constantly doing that critical movement towards other people, it will come out. People don't speak kindly if they don't think kindly. I know there's diplomacy, there's a lot about, but we're talking about the real deal. So let us then, in the next 24 hours, together, you and I, in a current of renewal in the world, huh? Shall we, friends? You agree? Let's do this. We're going to pay attention to what we're speaking, and we're gonna bless. everyone when we speak. Every time we speak, we're going to think, I'm blessing you. I'm blessing us. We speak whatever we need to speak, and we say, right now, I'm talking to you and feeling like blessings to you. Blessings to you. Whatever I'm speaking, blessings to you. Feeling that I am donating myself, the best in us, and channeling it with intention. Whether we speak something that is true or something that is a story to a child to make them feel happy, right? Fiction. We're not talking about lies. We're talking about different scenarios in our lives, talking to adults, talking to children, talking to anybody, and feeling like what we're speaking is a blessing movement. So today we begin the blessing movement with our words. All right? That's our practice. Let us bless the word with our speaking abilities and thus thinking of the good so we can speak the good. Thank you, friends, for being here with us at Cardiac Radio. And we wish you many blessings. We feel the blessings already traveling to you, and I can feel it from you too. Thank you.